I'm Holly Dunn, and I survived a serial killer. In 1997, I was just going into my junior year at the University of Kentucky. I had a boyfriend. He had been out of town for about 2 weeks, and I was super excited to see him. Chris was a big teddy bear. He gave great big giant hugs. He was charming and so sweet and kind. He was just a great guy. Chris and I were sitting along the grass that's beside the tracks. I think it was around midnight that we decided, well, let's go back to the party. We start walking along the tracks to go back. And a man comes out from behind an electrical box. And he said, "Do you have any money?" You know, we're kind of startled. We tell him we're poor college kids and we don't have any money. And so I start to offer him our car, our credit cards, our ATM cards. And that's when I saw the weapon. It looked like an ice pick. It was thin and it was sharp at the end. And he made Chris get down on his knees and started going through Chris's backpack. I thought he was looking for money, but really what he was doing was tying up Chris's hands behind his back with his backpack. Your mind can't understand that somebody's wanting to cause you harm. It doesn't cross your mind. At that point, with the weapon in his hand, he took off my belt and he tied my hands behind my back with my belt. He pulled Chris into the grass beside the tracks. I walked down where Chris was because I was not going to leave Chris. I remember him ripping a shirt and he tied up my legs, he tied up Chris's legs, and then he made gags for us. And I just remember our attacker carrying this really heavy rock. It was like so heavy that he was having to like kind of hold it like a baby. And I just remember him coming over to Chris and he just dropped it on his head. And it was like a dream. I mean, I didn't really understand what was happening. I heard Chris gurgling. Now I know that what I heard was actually a death rattle. It was his last breath. That's what I heard. After he'd killed Chris, I felt afraid for my life. And then he climbed on top of me, and I knew at that moment he was going to rape me. I tried to kick him, I tried to punch him, and he stabs me in my neck. And he said, "Look how easily I could kill you." It's amazing what goes through your mind when you think you're gonna die. After he had raped me, he hit me, and my mind completely blacked out. I was hit maybe 5 or 6 times in my face. And then I think he hit me 5 or 6 times in the back of my head when I turned over. He completely knocked me out. I do think he thought I was dead. I don't know how long I laid there. I don't even remember getting up to get help. I saw this house. The lights were on. The door was open. I mean, they didn't know if somebody else was coming back to hurt me. But he called 911 for me.
The fingerprints that were recovered at the Cernick home matched those found at Dr. Benton's house. And they matched Angel Maturino Resendez, a Mexican drifter who had been going back and forth across the border, committing minor crimes. In addition to the fingerprints, we had DNA in Dr. Benton's case as well as the Cernicks because they both had been sexually assaulted. And then we got a hit. It was from a 1997 Kentucky case. 2 kids on railroad tracks. The boy was murdered. The girl was sexually assaulted and left for dead. When I heard about Holly, I just about Oh, that somebody survived it was so huge. We knew we had a serial killer. There was an active manhunt for him. The horrifying thing was that while he was being hunted, he continued to kill people.
A nationwide manhunt is underway for a suspect in multiple brutal murders in Texas and Kentucky.
People were getting so scared around the country, especially who lived around railroad tracks, were just scared to death.
He was worth thousands of dollars, and the family, I think they cashed in the lottery ticket, so to speak.
The surrender was voluntary and is something that he did on his own, and it was also the wishes of his family.
Our case was completely airtight. I mean, we had DNA and fingerprints from every homicide.
Mr. Resendez, would you please rise? We, the jury, find the defendant Angel Macareno Resendez guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
I survived because I wasn't done. I survived to do something.